Hello and welcome to your entirely floor-based practice. I once received a request for a roll around on the ground style flow, and I have finally delivered. This flow will be done, or this practice will be done entirely on our backs. So when you're ready, meet me down on your back. We'll have the knees bent to start. Bring the hands onto the belly, taking those first few moments to arrive on our mats and settle into our practice. Starting to observe and notice your natural rhythm of breath here. Easy, effortless inhales and exhales through the nose. With the hands on the belly, you can feel the belly rise with each breath in and fall and soften back towards the mat with each breath out. Breathing into the hands to fill the belly. Exhale, emptying the lungs and let the belly soften back towards your mat. Following your natural rhythm of breath here. I'm not sure if you can hear the rain in the background, but it is quite possibly the most perfect afternoon for a roll around on the ground flow. Let's enjoy another 3 rounds of breath as we are settling into our practice, connecting to our breath. We'll slowly release the hands away from the belly and take your arms out wide. You might like to just heel toe the feet so they're a little bit wider than hip distance, keeping the bottoms of the feet connected to the floor, keeping the knees bent. We'll slowly start to windshield wiper the legs, letting the knees sway from side to side. When the knees next come over to the right, let them stay. Right foot can place on the outside edge of that left knee. Supine twist, but I really love the hip opening that we get with that foot on the outside of the knee. Also the internal rotation of that left leg. It's not often that we see poses that take us to internal rotation in our yoga practice, and it can feel really nice for the hips. Let's be here for another 5 or so rounds of breath. Closing the eyes, or maybe you're gazing softly up towards the ceiling. And as we move through our practice, your mind will naturally shift away from the practice. Just know that you can always come back to your breath, using your breath as your anchor to the present moment. Connection to breath, connection to present moment. You have the right foot on the outside of the left knee, releasing. Letting the knees sway side to side once again, noticing the difference in the two sides of the hips. And then when you're ready, left knees go to the left. And you might like to place that left foot on the outside of the right knee. Arms are out wide. And maybe noticing what's going on in that right hip. It's the right leg now that's in internal rotation in that right hip. We have another 4 or so rounds of breath here. You're always welcome to stay longer in these poses if it's feeling nice in your body, if you have the time. You can always come back and join in with wherever we are later on in the practice. But if you're coming with me, we're releasing that left foot off of the right knee. Let the knees rock side to side a couple more times. And just heel toeing the feet back to about hip width apart. Bring the right knee in towards the chest. We're interlacing the hands around the back of the leg. Hug it in close towards the chest. Keep your low back connected to the floor here. This should be a really effortless practice. We have the support of the mat beneath the spine for the entire practice. Really using that support. When you're ready, we'll straighten the right leg, right foot up towards the ceiling, and we'll start to find some movement in the ankle. Circling the ankle. Maybe you've blinked the eyes open and you're imagining that you're drawing circles on your ceiling. Just taking your circles in both directions. And then let's start to point and flex the foot, really pointing the toes up towards the ceiling and then drawing the toes back towards the face as much as you can. Point the toes, get that lovely stretch across the top of the foot, and then flexing the toes back towards the face to find this lengthening down the back of the leg. Take a few more rounds of that. Keep the foot flexed now. And you can either stay with the hands where they are on the back of the leg, or you can start to slide the hands up, maybe to the calf, maybe all the way up to the ankle. Maybe you can catch your big toe. Not aiming for the big toe here. As long as you're feeling a stretch down the back of that leg, that's what we're going for. And just being mindful here, sometimes without really thinking too much about it, we press into that left foot and we lift the low back away from the mat. Again, use the support of the floor here. I like to just hover my left foot away from the floor so I know that that low back is resting heavy on the floor. And then I place the left foot back down. Keep flexing the right toes back towards the face. Let's enjoy another 2 rounds of breath here. Keep the left or the right foot, sorry, the right foot flexed and cross the right ankle on top of your left thigh, figure 4 stretch. You can stay here. Right hand comes to the inside of that right leg and encourages the knee forward. Or you may be able to bring the left knee in towards the chest and again interlacing the hands around the leg. Creating a little net with the interlace of the hands so that you can let the leg relax into it. Same when we were in our hamstring stretch. And again, this is one of our external rotation poses that we see quite often in our practice. Figure 4 or supine pigeon. Maybe you've let the eyes close again, guiding your focus back to your breath whenever it drifts away from your practice. Let's be here for another 3 or so rounds of breath. If you have that left leg, we'll mindfully release. Extend both of your legs out long in front of you. Take the arms up overhead, finding a full body stretch here. Reach the toes forward, reach the fingertips back. And then when you're ready, we rebend the knees, bringing the soles of the feet back onto the mat. Bring your left knee in towards the chest this time, interlacing the hands, creating that little net for the back of the leg to rest in, but we'll just hug it in nice and close towards the chest to begin. Slowly starting to extend the leg up towards the sky, straightening the leg as best you can, and finding the movement with the ankle, drawing circles on your ceiling with your big toe. Making sure you take your circles in both directions. And let's start to point and flex the foot. So pointing the toes towards the ceiling to get that stretch across the top of the foot, and then drawing the toes back towards your face to create that length down the back of your leg. We'll bring our foot into that flexed position, so toes drawing back towards the face. And you have the option now here, if you choose to take it, you can stay with the hands exactly as they are, or maybe you start to work the hands up a little bit higher up the leg. Again, the knee can be bent here, inviting that stretch. Let's check in with the low back. Hover the right toes away from the floor. See if that low back is heavy on the mat. Place the right foot back down. Keep flexing the left toes back towards the face. Maybe you've closed the eyes again here and you've settled back into your breath. Enjoying one more round of breath here. Letting go of the leg, crossing the left ankle on top of your right thigh for our figure four stretch. Left hand can come to the inside of the left leg, or we bring the right leg in towards the body. Breathing into the outer edge of your left hip. Figure four or supine pigeon, as it can be called sometimes. As we find stillness in our poses, it can be really interesting to observe where your mind takes you, what little journey it takes you on. And there's no need to judge or criticize yourself for whatever you're thinking about, but know that it's always a choice to come back to the present moment, to choose your breath, to choose to focus on the breath. If you have the right leg, let's release. Extending both legs out long in front of you, finding that full body stretch. Reach the arms overhead, reach the toes out in front of you. We're going to keep the body extended long like this and come right into our next pose, setting ourselves up for a banana asana. I like to hook my thumbs overhead just to keep the arms together or the hands together. Walk your left foot over towards the left edge of your mat. Walk your right foot over towards the left edge of your mat, or you can cross the right ankle on top of the left. Shuffle your shoulders to the left edge of your mat and reach your arms up and over to the left. Feet and legs are going to the left. Arms and hands are going to the left, creating this banana shape in the body, creating a beautiful long line, a big stretch down that right side. And a nice time to check in just to see how the pose is feeling in the body. If you've taken the legs a little bit too far to the left, you might be feeling it in the hips. Just ease out. You don't have to come all the way out, but just have the legs so they're not quite as far over to the left. Also be mindful that that right shoulder is not lifting away from the mat as you try and reach the hands over to the left. Let's be here for another 5 or so rounds of breath. Again, if this is a pose that you would like to stay in a little bit longer, please feel free to stay as you are. We'll be slowly making our way out if you're coming with me, bringing the arms and the torso back through center first. Shuffling the torso back to the middle of your mat. Uncross the right ankle if it's crossed. We'll bring the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug, catch the front of the shins, take a rock side to side. And we'll set ourselves up for the second side. Legs go long again. Arms reach overhead, maybe taking that hook of the thumbs. Right foot steps over to the right, left foot follows. Option to cross that left ankle on top of the right here. And we'll reach our arms up and over to the right to create that banana shape, that banana asana. And getting that really lovely long stretch down that entire left side of the body. Both hands are reaching up and over to the right. If you are looking at the screen and notice that my left arm is not, I'm just being mindful of the microphone. So please reach both of your arms up and over to the right. I'm trying to give you the best sound quality possible. We'll be here for another 5 or so rounds of breath. After that 5th round of breath, bring the arms and the torso back through center. Uncross the left ankle. Draw both knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a hug. Take a little sway side to side. We'll keep our right knee in towards the chest. Extend your left leg out long. Straighten the left leg. Bring the left heel to the floor. Hugging the right knee in as you reach that left foot forward for our folded pose. If you'd like, you can release the left arm overhead. Again, I won't take that option on this side for sound quality reasons. But if you have the space, I would highly recommend reaching the left arm overhead to get that length down the left side of your body. Let's enjoy one more round of breath here in our folded pose. You have the left arm overhead. You can bring your left hand across to your right knee, and we'll come into a supine twist, guiding that right knee over to the left. I like to lift and tuck my outer left hip under me, so that hip that's resting on the floor, and that allows me to bring the right knee over to the side a bit more. Take your right arm out to the right and settle into stillness. Allowing your breath to flow easy and effortlessly. guiding your focus back to the breath whenever it drifts away. Slowly making your way onto your back in your own time. Bend the knees and then readjust the hips, bringing that spine back through neutral, pausing for a moment. Extending your right leg straight out in front of you to change sides. Left knee comes in towards the chest. Hugging the knee in towards your body. And then you have that option, which I'll take on this side, to reach the right arm overhead and getting that lovely length down the right side of the body. And we were in our banana asana shape, or banana asana, I think. I may have called it once before. We were stretching more the outer line of the right side of the body. In our folded, we're stretching across the front. So coming across the front of the hip up into the underarm and then reaching across the arm through to the fingertips. In that banana shape, we were creating a bit more length and stretch into the actual side seams of the body and not this front seam or front line. Let's enjoy one more round of breath here in our folded. And then it's our right hand that comes onto the left knee, slowly guiding your left knee over to the right. Again, you may like to lift the outer right hip up, tuck it underneath you as you take that left knee to the side. Reach the arms out wide. Maybe right hand stays resting on the left leg. We have another 2 or so rounds of breath here. Nice opportunity to recheck or reconnect back into your breath for our last 2 rounds of breath. Slowly making your way out of the pose in your own time, bending the knees and bringing the soles of the feet, bottoms of the feet to the mat. Readjust the hips. Heel toe your feet together so that the big toes are touching, and then let your knees open wide. Bring the outer edges of the feet to the mat, the soles of the feet pressing in towards one another. Option to rest the hands on the belly, or option to have the hands resting on the floor. Settling into our final pose for our practice. Allowing your back body, backs of the shoulders to relax into the mat here. Allow yourself to find complete stillness. So, if you do need to make any micro adjustments to be a little bit more comfortable, making those here, and then we'll surrender ourselves into the pose, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. You're welcome to stay as you are for as long as you'd like. Otherwise, begin to invite deeper breaths back into your body. Start to bring the soles of the feet to the mat, pointing the knees to the sky. We'll finish our practice on our backs with our hands together in front of our hearts. Take a moment to show yourself gratitude for making this time in your day for you. And thank you so much for joining me today for this floor based practice. Namaste.